I know he's not the only person that sent me this story because I saw my email and I was checking it. Thank you guys so much for supporting us and being patient while we try to bring out our next set of stories. Make sure you know I try to post stories daily, no matter whether I'm live or not. I always try to make sure and keep you guys aware of what's going on with our babies. Shout out to Reach 3002 for being the first person to send me this story. That was the first time I saw it. And this story actually reeks it reeks in my memory of a whole different story that I did a while back. And the details are very similar to a story I've already done. So brace yourselves for this one because you're going to start to see some similarities from other stories I've did. And I just think that these people are literally just copying other people's stories and lies and inputting it into stuff like this. But take a listen at this.
Some viewers may find the following content offensive and controversial. The information in this video comes from multiple sources, including court records, official police charges, new website articles, and interviews. This video commentary also contains my personal opinions about the facts of this story. The point is to use this story as a cautionary tale in hopes of preventing tragedies like these to children going forward. Viewer discretion is advised. That is your official disclaimer.
And I'm getting this story from usatoday.com. So shout out to them for the article. Beautiful little baby right here. And I want to tell y'all about his tragic story. We got people watching from Ireland. Thank you very much. Much love. Appreciate that. Officials in California are continuing a search for a 7-month-old by the name of Emmanuel Haro, Haro. And I've listened to news people pronounce his name, so I think that's about how you pronounce it. If it's not right, I just have to apologize to you, okay? That's him right there. After charging his parents with murder in his disappearance. So this has been going from a missing child situation to now it's a murder investigation. So that's a significant upgrade from where these people actually came out and did an interview and acted like they were victims. They act like they were victims. They act like somebody stole their child. They didn't know what happened. And come to find out the information that they were giving wasn't so forthcoming. It wasn't so, it had holes in the story. I'll tell you that. But they ended up getting arrested and are now being charged. Okay? But I think the police got this right. San Bernardino County Sheriff's deputies arrested Jake, Jake, and Rebecca, Rebecca, Haro, Haro, on August the 22nd at their home in, oh Lord, I can't say that. Cabazon, Kabazon. I don't know how you pronounce that in California. Sorry, I don't. Located about 25 miles northwest of Palm Springs. They've both been charged with murder and are set to appear in court on August the 26th. So depending on when you're watching this, this is actually tomorrow. So we might actually have to do a quick update. We'll see how it goes. Rebecca Haro, the boy's mother, initially told authorities, for those of y'all who ain't read the story already, y'all not gonna believe this. Y'all not gonna believe how bull crappish this sounds. The boy's mother initially told authorities that the infant boy had been kidnapped. Do y'all remember that little boy in that story that I talked about a while ago? I'll have to pull it up where they were in Vegas. Matter of fact, can I pull that up real quick? And they got on TV and did an interview, and it was the light-skinned black dude who basically, I believe he was pimping the white girl that he was with, the mother of the boy. Do y'all remember that? And we believe he beat and killed the boy and then dumped his body. Do y'all remember that? Let me see. Vegas. That was, yep, right here. Let me see if I can find his name so y'all can know. Hold on. Terrell Rhodes. Terrell Rhodes and Amari Nicholson. Y'all remember that? Terrell Rhodes and Amari Nicholson. That was a huge story. Shout out to the true crime community because we all talked about that story. Amari Nicholson. Look that up if you don't remember. That's the story that I think is very similar to this. As you can see, they did an interview. Do y'all want me to show the interview? I can show it. It's going to look very, very similar. I think it's going to freak y'all out. You're going to be like, no way. You're going to be like, are y'all just literally just copying people's script and just replaying it? Like, are you serious? The boy's mother initially told authorities that the infant had been kidnapped on August the 14th, which is 4 days after my birthday, actually, outside of a store in nearby Ucapa. I guess that's how you say that. Investigators determined that the kidnapping never occurred. Okay? They said it never occurred. The San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department said in a release. As for the search for Emmanuel continues, here's what we know so far about the boy's parents and why they are being accused of murder. Y'all gonna find this interesting. This was the best article I could find. This is the most comprehensive article I could find. Police arrested Jake Harrow, who was the boy's father, who is 32 years old. Let me get that full back up on my screen. That's him right there. In a prison jumpsuit. This is confirmed. Many news outlets put this out there. That is him. That is not speculation. Credible news sources put this out that is him. And you'd have to be asking, why is he out there with the police in a jumpsuit out there looking where this boy allegedly disappeared at? Huh? Y'all find that interesting? Because this was actually a big break in this story. Jack Harrow, 32 years old, and Rebecca Harrow, the boy's mother, 41 years old, were arrested on one count each of murder on August the 22nd. They were booked into the Riverside County Jail with no bond, no bail. No other arrests have been made. No suspects remain outstanding. One of Jake and Rebecca Harrow's other children, who was removed from the family's home by Riverside County Children's Services, Rodriguez confirmed to USA Today on August the 25th. Let me say that again. I'm going to read it again. One of their other children were removed from the family's home by Riverside County Children's Services. If I had a red flag, I would wave it right now. That's a red flag. Or if I had a red card, I'd pull it out my pocket. That is a red card on the play. If you don't watch football, if you don't watch soccer, you probably don't know what I'm talking about when I'm talking about a red card. I always talk about yellow flags and red flags. Yellow flags are being cautionary. Red flags are, wait a minute, something stinks. Something is very wrong here. Okay? One of their children were already removed from the home. The Department of Public Social Services said in a statement to USA Today that it cannot comment on specific children or family cases due to the state confidentiality laws. We get how that BS works. I think it's all BS, but whatever. USA Today has been unable to reach Rebecca and Jack Harrow for comment prior to their arrest. But we got the interview, so it don't even matter. We got enough there. It's not clear if they have legal counsel. Now, according to state records obtained by USA, Jack Harrow, the dad, the man, the alleged man, this dude right here, I'm trying to mind my words. I'm trying not to cuss as much. I'm trying my best. He was convicted in June of 2023 of willful child cruelty for an incident involving another child in a nearby town of Hemet. Can we get a hashtag when you date thugs, you date death? And I want y'all to remember that thug does not relate to a skin color. Thug is a behavior. Thug is a characteristic trait. I'm going to read this again. He was convicted in June of 2023 of willful child cruelty for an incident involving another child in a nearby town. Is that another red flag? I see y'all posting the red flags in the chat. Yep. Is that not another red flag? Strike two. We'll talk about that baby here in a moment. That's not even the same baby. That's a whole nother child. We'll get back to that. The charge stems from an incident during which Haro told police that he had been given a baby girl a bath in a kitchen sink and accidentally dropped her. Hashtag not another bathtub story. Lord have mercy. Before his August 22nd arrest, Jack was due to appear in court on September the 2nd for arraignment on allegations that he violated the terms of his probation. That's a violation of his probation. USA Today contacted Vincent Hughes, who was representing Jack in the 2023 child cruelty case on August the 23rd, but has not yet received a response. And I think that baby was actually the one that was injured. Let me see. I'm not sure. If I'm wrong, I'll correct it. Let me get the picture of that baby real quick. Let me see. It's a little bitty baby. Where's she at? Where are you at, dear? Hold on. I can never find stuff when I'm looking for it. Oh, right here. Sorry. Because of how it looked. A 10-week-old baby suffered fractured ribs and a skull injury. If I'm not mistaken, I think this is actually one of their children, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, he pretty much ended his... I'm going to read what you said in the chat. Your words are, he pretty much ended his daughter's life, 3% brain function. This is the one. So this baby was actually taken out of their custody and put into someone else's custody, and I think that child is growing up but only has 3% brain function. This baby can't do anything. This is a very convoluted story, so y'all bear with me. Like I said, if I make a mistake in the details, I'll go back and correct it. As of August 25th, Emmanuel Haro, which is the missing little boy, has not been found. The sister has the children. Thank you, Miss Independent. Thank you. You said these children didn't ask to be born here. I appreciate that. Thank you, Incognito. I appreciate that. Oh, okay. You said that's the first relationship. That's the daughter, Rebecca, not with Jake then. Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. Okay. So again, I'm getting a little confused because there's a lot of children that are involved in these stories, so it gets a little difficult to try to follow and figure out which one is which. A family member has her now. She's 7 years old. That's the one that was injured to the point to where she only has so much functionality, right? I believe that's the one. But we'll see it in the news videos, though. You'll see it. Investigators believe that the little boy that's missing right now is dead and a kidnapping never occurred. So they believe that he is no longer living, but they don't have a body, okay? Now, prior to Emmanuel's parents' arrest, police say that they conducted extensive searches using canines in Yucaipa and Cabazon. They also seized a car belonging to Jack Haro, the dad, for evidence processing. Mara Rodriguez, public information officer for SBCSD, confirmed to USA Today on August the 20th. I'm going to stop reading that. Why they keep confirming? Okay, damn. On August the 24th, Jack Haro joined investigators at a search off the freeway in Moreno Valley, which is the picture that y'all saw. Let's go back to that. Right here. He joined investigators at a search off a freeway in Moreno Valley, the department said in a post on X. Despite using cadaver dogs, the infant was not found, and police say that they are continuing their search. A so-called no-body homicide, that sounds crazy. A so-called, they don't have a body, no body, homicide is uncommon but not impossible. So generally, it's hard to charge somebody with homicide or murder if you don't have a body. But in this case, they might be able to pull this off. And this is according to a criminal defense attorney by the name of Ambrosia Rodriguez. Honestly, it happens more often in places where there's large swaths of land like San Bernardino or Riverside County where it's just easier to bury a body. In this case, as Emmanuel Haro has still not been found, Rodriguez said it's likely that detectives relied on the parents' inconsistent statements rather than physical evidence in order to carry out these arrests. The importance of physical evidence is something that happens on TV and movies, not in real life. The majority of cases are based on words, not on DNA or anything of that nature. So that's important to know. So that's important for me to know too. Here's the timeline. Let's talk about this and then I'll show y'all the videos real quick. Y'all do me a favor. If you're watching this, please hit that thumbs up and share this video so more people can see it. They are not seeing this story if you don't hit that thumbs up. So please do us the simple favor. Please just hit that thumbs up if you're watching. Take a moment. Please hit that thumbs up. On August the 14th, Rebecca Haro, the mother, reported that her son, Emmanuel, had been kidnapped outside of a store in Ucaipa shortly before 8 p.m. local time. Here's her wild lying ass story. She said that she was standing outside of her car while changing his diaper when she was knocked unconscious by an unknown person who took the boy. It's not to say that people won't and haven't kidnapped kids, but these stories just don't add up and they don't make any sense. It's just not a super common thing that happens. Somebody just, and I say that and I'm like, damn, you know what? When you go and look on my channel, there's actually a lot of kids that have been kidnapped right there with their parents, but I digress. This story just doesn't make any sense. Rebecca Haro, with a visible black eye on her face, you'll see it in the video, said in interviews with KCAL and KTLA that the family was in the area for a football practice. She says she went to the store to buy a mouth guard. So I'm pretty sure that they probably have video evidence of whether she went in and did that or not. On August the 16th, investigators announced that they interviewed both Rebecca and Jack Haro. After confronting the mother about her inconsistencies in her statements, she declined further cooperation. On August the 22nd, SBCSD deputies arrested Rebecca and Jack and charged them both with murder. On August the 26th, Rebecca and Jake are expected to have their first court appearances. Now, let's get into the news stories, and I'm going to actually show you guys a video that I did on a different story, but I just want to show y'all this to show you how similar these stories are when it comes to people lying on camera and doing interviews.
Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107.
If y'all would do me a favor and please hit that thumbs up. This is an old video. It's relatable to this story, but it's not the same story. But watch this. I just want y'all to hear some of what I say in here. Check it out. Ladies and gentlemen, what a hell of an update this is going to be. And I want you guys to remember this picture right here because I talked about body language in my original video. So go back and look at when we talked about the Cal City missing boys, hashtag where are the boys? Oren and Orson West, otherwise known as Classic and Sincere Pettis, I believe is their last name, their real last name. This story does have a little bit of a conclusion with a bittersweet ending because they still don't have the bodies of these babies. They have no idea where they at. But before I get a little bit of and children going, blocking information, and his eyes were looking down. Come to find out, they've been convicted, but let me give you some details. This is coming from courttv.com. I think they also have a YouTube channel, and they did some videos on this also, but a lot of people have. So thank you, Court TV, for the article. That's where I'm reading from. Bakersville, California. A jury found Trezell and Jacqueline West guilty 5 of the 7 counts that they were facing related to the death of their adopted children. The jury was hung on 2 counts after days of deliberation. After being asked by the judge, the jury's foreperson said that they would not be able to come to a verdict on the final two counts. The bodies of the missing children, Orrin and Orson West, otherwise known as, I'm adding this part, otherwise known as Classic and Sincere, have yet to be found. More YouTubers jumped on this case and did endless streams, and shout out to them. To me, that just showed that they cared. I don't doubt that there were probably some people that did it just for the views, but I know some people, they really actually cared. They were doing investigations and into custody on March the 1st of 2020. Children were killed. California, a wrongful video on it. You'll thank me later. To the stand at criticism, news reporting.
2020.
Any witness is subject to being.
Sure joins us.
Called police and stranger,
Or where they.
Distributions poured
Died.
and made the
Guilty.
So that
They were doing, but just the fact that. Let's go to our next video. So I didn't actually see the body language in that when I was trying to show the interview, but you kind of get the point of it. So here we go. Let's get into this story's news videos. Here we go.
It is day 6 of a desperate search for a 7-month-old baby boy named Emmanuel Harrow. And the details that we've just learned about the baby's father and his criminal past, absolutely hair-raising. The number of children that have been moved out of the Harrow home into the custody of others is nothing short of alarming. Let me take you back for a moment. Baby Emmanuel was reported missing last Thursday. His mother, Rebecca Harrow, claimed that a stranger approached her from behind, said, "Hola," and then knocked her unconscious. She says when she woke up, baby Emmanuel was gone, right there in the parking lot, gone. But according
Y'all hear this stupid cockamamie story? She said a Mexican walked up behind her and said, "Hola," knocked her out and took her child. I'm not going to lie, man. That might be a little bit bigoted, a little bit racist to sit there and knowing that that story is a lie, and that's the lie that you tell, just sounds real racist. It's like saying a black man walked up behind me and said, "Yo, what's happening, Holmes Skillet?" and knocked me unconscious. I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe that's not what a black man would say. I don't know.
to investigators, Rebecca's story didn't add up all the way. Rebecca refused a lie detector test, and both she and her husband have stopped cooperating with the police, the authorities say. To be clear, there have been no charges filed against Jake or Rebecca Harrow.
But now they are. That's how quickly things change. There are now charges, but I'll keep playing.
Jake's attorney insisted right here on this show last night that his client, Jake Harrow, is cooperating, despite that statement from the police suggesting otherwise. Tonight it is Jake's past, however, that is becoming a lot more worrisome. Yesterday we learned about his felony child cruelty conviction, the one that put him in jail for 6 months back in 2023. Both Jake and his ex-wife Vanessa Avila pleaded guilty to the charges, and tonight we have learned.
You said she didn't even bother to make up a decent story. No, she did not at all.
That crime was.
You said you wonder how she got that black eye? I'm pretty sure it's from dealing with his violent self. He just looks like a violent type dude. Like he just looks like the type of guy that just, I don't know, just do weird experiments on animals. Like he just looks like the type. He just looks like the type of person that probably has a barrel of acid in his home somewhere, like sulfuric acid. He just looks like the type.
Committed against his own 10-week-old baby girl, a child who survived but suffered horrendous lifelong injuries. We've got photos of the child, and I should tell you that the family has given us permission to show those photos, likely as a warning about Jake Harrow. But I do want to tell you this. When we show you those photos, they are quite disturbing. So fair warning in advance. Here is the little girl in her hospital bed, 10 weeks old. She is recovering here from several fractures to her ribs, to her skull, and to her legs. She is also recovering from a brain hemorrhage. This little girl was eventually removed from the Harrow home, and she was adopted by one of Vanessa's cousins. That cousin has cared for this little girl and even renamed her. Her new name is Promise Faith. According to the cousin, Promise is now 7 years old, but take a look at this picture. The damage that she suffered from those injuries was permanent. Promise was left blind. Promise was left unable to walk. Promise was left unable to talk and unable to swallow due to strangulation. We are told from this cousin that Promise has 3% brain function, that Promise needs a feeding tube, and that Promise will need round-the-clock care for the rest of her life. So let's just contemplate this as you see these pictures. Jake Harrow, who beat this child, received 6 months in jail and probation afterwards. The same cousin...
6 months in jail to basically end a human's life. 3% brain function should be considered murder. How many of y'all agree or disagree with that? 3% brain function, in my opinion, should qualify as murder. That's no life. You can't see. You can't feed yourself. 3% brain function. You can't walk. In my opinion, so some of y'all agree? That should be changed in the law. When you are this hampered so severely that you can't do anything at all ever again for yourself, that should qualify under the same guidelines as murder. 6 months is ridiculous. 6 years would have been ridiculous. 60 years would have been ridiculous. Nothing but a life sentence would have sufficed for this.
Who adopted this little girl, Promise, also took in Jake's oldest son, who she says was born with fetal alcohol syndrome. That child was named after his father, Jake, but the cousin also renamed the little boy. His new name is Carlos. And now this same cousin who has taken in 2 of Jake Harrow's children, one that Jake Harrow beat into a lifelong condition, another that was born with fetal alcohol syndrome. Now this cousin is caring for a 3rd child removed from the Harrow home just this week.
And how does this man continue to keep getting access to women and children? They just ignore it. They're looking at these women. Shout out to the good women out there in the chat. I know we got some good women out there. She can't swallow either. She's on a feeding tube from him choking her. Yep. Yep. He continues to get access to women that apparently want something from him. So they think so little of themselves, so little of the kids. They continue to keep giving a fool like this a chance at what? I don't know. Can we call that hashtag babies for benefits for people who only have kids to collect the benefits off the backs of those kids who don't love them, they don't give a damn about them, and don't care whether they live or die? That's those type of people. And here you are with yet another child, and they don't even know where he's at. They don't even physically know where the body is at.
A 2-year-old child was taken out of Jake and Rebecca's care. I'm joined now by true crime digital creator Abby Escobar, who spoke. It is day 6
We are also following developing news from the Inland Empire, where the search continues for 7-month-old Emmanuel Hara, who is presumed dead. Investigators say the baby's parents faked his kidnapping. KTLA 5's Jillian Smuckler live in San Bernardino with the very latest in this investigation. Good morning.
Good morning, Lou. Yeah, major developments in just the past 24 hours for that search for 7-month-old Emmanuel. Now, what we could tell you is that his father was spotted over the weekend searching for his body, while his mother gave her first jailhouse interview, maintaining her innocence and standing by her story, saying she's committed to finding her son. Now, Rebecca and Jake Haro, they were arrested at their home in Cabazon on Friday on suspicion of murder with malice. They arrested the couple 8 days after the baby's mother reported that Emmanuel had been stolen from her, all while she was changing his diaper in the parking lot of a Big Five. But in a jailhouse interview with a Southern California News Group reporter yesterday, she maintained her innocence despite law enforcement accusing the couple of killing their son. She reportedly said she isn't giving up on her baby and that she wished she were out searching for him. She also allegedly shook her head when asked about rumors that days before she reported the kidnapping, she went to the Big Five, told employees that her car was burglarized, and asked whether the business had surveillance cameras. Now, her husband Jake also made headlines over the weekend. He was spotted.
I hope y'all caught that. I'm going to rewind that. Let me rewind that. Let me let you hear that part again.
Employees that her car was burglarized and asked whether the business had surveillance cameras.
Her car was burglarized, and she asked if they had surveillance cameras. So you didn't tell them that somebody stole your child? You said your car was burglarized? To me, that sounds like two different things. And you're worried about whether they had security cameras. Red flag. Thank you, Mr. Phillips. Another red flag.
Now, her husband Jake also made headlines over the weekend. He was spotted wearing an orange jumpsuit yesterday looking for his missing baby. He was searching a remote area in Moreno Valley with detectives. It is still unclear what led them there, given it's about 10 miles south of where Emmanuel was first reported missing. But after an hours-long search yesterday, investigators say Emmanuel's body still has not been found. Now, the couple is standing by their story of what exactly happened to their baby, and they're expected to make their first court appearance tomorrow at the Riverside Hall of Justice.
Now on Eyewitness News at 5, breaking
to that video just freeway. We distances
a woman that was just 2 days ago.
Authorities are still searching for a missing 7-month-old baby who is presumed dead. The child's mother and father were arrested on Friday.
Hey Jess, good morning to you as well. A heartbreaking turn of events here involving this story, but the father was seen yesterday helping detectives with the San Bernardino County.
I'm trying to find the interview video. We'll get there in just a second. Thought they said she was changing his pamper and then someone knocked her out cold. Again, they're talking about these inconsistencies in the story. So yeah, you're absolutely right. It's a good catch. She's definitely inconsistent in her stories.
Sheriff's Department locating the body of Emmanuel, his 7-month-old baby. The parents were arrested early Friday morning after nearly 2 weeks of the baby allegedly being kidnapped. We're going to show you some video coming into our newsroom with the father helping detectives. Yesterday we have video of him on the ground, and you can see cameras capturing Jake Haro, the infant's father, dressed in a brightly colored jail jumpsuit, assisting in the search for the remains of his missing baby. He was joined by San Bernardino County detectives Sunday in a remote stretch of the 60 freeway near Gilman Springs Road in Moreno Valley. Cadaver dogs were there as well. The Sheriff's Department ended the search last night and said Emmanuel was not found, and the investigation to find him continues. Jake and Rebecca Haro, the parents, were arrested Friday morning at their home in Camazon. You're looking at newly released booking photos of the couple. They're being held without bail. Over the weekend, there was a vigil for the baby. So many people heartbroken and shocked with the turn of events.
I'm hurt by it, because I wanted to believe that that baby is alive.
Crazy, sad, sick. I could do that to a child.
The case started nearly 2 weeks ago when Rebecca told deputies she had been attacked in the parking lot of a Big Five sporting goods store in Yucaipa while changing her son's diaper. She claimed to have lost consciousness during the assault, and when she came to, Emmanuel was gone. But detectives say there were major inconsistencies with that story. Rebecca later stopped cooperating with investigators, and they now believe the reported kidnapping never happened. Search warrants were served at the couple's home, and detectives say the evidence points to a far more tragic ending. They now believe Emmanuel is dead and are still looking for his body. We've learned that Jake Harrow, the father, has a criminal history, including a 2018 conviction for child cruelty. He was also just arrested last month for illegal gun possession while still on probation. And authorities during this investigation, social services removed another child of theirs from their home, a 2-year-old child. We have learned, according to detectives, that the couple is expected to make their first court appearance tomorrow morning.
Kidnapped as she changed his diaper. The baby's father also pleaded for help.
We just want our baby boy.
Now comes a
Here we go. Watch this. Check this out, y'all. Listen to this. Here it is. Y'all do me a favor. Hit that thumbs up if you're watching. People should not be shocked by these things anymore. You know what? As much as I've seen these stories and I feel what you're saying, I'm still shocked. Even more shocked that people just recycle lies that they've heard. And they're like, you know what? Maybe they might believe it if I say it in my story. I don't know. But check it out. Here it is.
I'm begging you, please, if anything, if you know anything, please.
This mother begged for help after she said her baby was kidnapped as she changed his diaper. The baby's father also pleaded for help.
We just want our baby boy.
Now comes a stunning turn in the case of missing 7-month-old Emmanuel Harrow. Today, cops swarmed the parents' home and SWAT vehicles moved in. They arrested both parents, Rebecca and Jake Harrow, on murder charges.
Someone took him from me.
1 week ago, Rebecca claimed she was attacked and knocked unconscious in this San Bernardino County parking lot. You can see her black eye.
I had his diapers right here, and then someone said, hola, and I couldn't even turn, and I was just, I don't remember nothing.
But cops say they confronted Rebecca with
and then someone said, hola, and I couldn't even turn, and I was just, I don't remember numbers right here. And then someone said, hola, and I couldn't even turn, and I was just, I don't remember nothing. Numbers right here. And then someone said, hola, and I couldn't even.
Someone says, hola, that knocks me out. I don't remember nothing. You said you heard her story. What did you say in the chat? You said heard her story about Ola is exactly Zach screen from a Netflix series. Oh, huh.
Turning, I was just, I don't remember nothing.
But cops say they confronted Rebecca with inconsistencies in her initial statement. It also emerged that her husband was jailed for 6 months for felony child cruelty in 2023. The 7-month-old is the youngest of their 6 children. Today, detectives could be seen digging around their yard as the search for baby Emmanuel continues, while these pleas for help now take on an even more sinister tone.
Please don't hurt him. Just bring him back to his parents that love him.
All right, and this is the arrest video. I'm going to make this bigger on the screen just because I feel like showing you guys them actually being arrested. So just to let you guys know that this is current. They have been arrested and been charged. That they brought that boy out in his blue panties. Ain't that cute? Little blue and white panties.
I don't have any comment.
Do you have anything to say about
I'm innocent until proven guilty. We'll figure it out when this case starts moving forward. Excuse me.
Boy, their attorney eating good, boy. That boy eating good in the hood. I hear that. I hear that, sir. But nonetheless, in that black eye, I personally believe that with knowing this man's violent tendencies, I think that he probably socked her in the face and told her this is what you need to tell the news, and that's kind of how that went. But I think that's where that black eye came from. It didn't come from some random Mexican talking about "Hola, ma'am, hola, hola," and then punched her out. Like, it just don't happen that way. Anyway, nonetheless, very sad story. These are very horrible people, and I think that they deserve a life sentence in prison. I don't know what they thought they was going to find by bringing that fool out there like that. I mean, he knows what happened. I believe he knows what happened. Is he going to tell them? Probably not. So I just think that was kind of a waste of time. But nonetheless, if I can get more information about this, we'll present it, but this is definitely probably not going to be the end of the saga. But you have a multitude of children in this situation, in this story, that have all been affected by both of these fools, especially that man, and people continue to want to stick up for him and defend him and stay with him anyway. I think it's quite ridiculous, and I think that if you're not going to put your children first, you shouldn't have kids at all. Just don't have kids. Just get rid of your what do we call it? Hashtag TTOTTT. Don't use your ovaries and your testicles. You can get them balls snipped and you get them tubes tied. You don't have to involve children. If y'all want to be two dummies punching each other and giving each other black eyes, talking about bye y'all, hola, hola, bye y'all. Y'all can maybe do that between y'all as grown adults. Be consenting domestic violence if you want to. I'm not saying that's domestic violence is okay, but I'm just saying I'd rather y'all be stupid on your own and stop involving these babies. I'm going to have to say this because there's a good chance that this baby is probably not alive considering what he's done to other kids allegedly. Emmanuel, young prince, R.I.P. So we'll continue until we get to the end of the story, until we get to the bottom of it, and we'll do another update coming up here very soon, okay? But we hope to get them both life sentences in prison. Thank you. I love it when we can get some positive news, especially with these stories that can be so tragic. This beautiful little angel right here lost her life, and I really, really want to get justice. So I'm going to kind of do a refresh with this story, give a little bit of new information. But the biggest thing is how they're actually going to go after the mother as far as the courts and potentially what they're going to pursue when it comes to her penalty for her role and causing the death of that little girl. So let me give you a disclaimer and then we'll go from there.
Some viewers may find the following content offensive and controversial. The information in this video comes from multiple sources, including court records, official police charges, new website articles, and interviews. This video commentary also contains my personal opinions about the facts of this story. The point is to use this story as a cautionary tale in hopes of preventing tragedies like these to children going forward. Viewer discretion is advised. That is your official disclaimer.
And shout out to Mommy of 3 Kids. That is her reading that for me. So shout out to her. I appreciate her volunteering. We're getting this story from this update from WPTV.com. So shout out to them. Palm Beach County, Florida. The state pushes for the justice of 7-year-old Nia Williams. That's that angel right there. Beautiful little girl. Continues with new developments indicating the potential for the death penalty against her mother by the name of Nikisha Williams. Her name is spelled really weird, so if you want to look it up and look up information, it's N-A-I and then K-I-S-H-I-A. So it's a little bit weird, okay? The Palm Beach County State Attorney's Office, long-term, filed a motion earlier this week outlining reasons for seeking capital punishment if Nikisha Williams is found guilty of her daughter's murder. And I'm going to tell y'all, if you haven't looked into the details, She absolutely deserves it, in my opinion. She deserves the DP, the harshest penalty under law, in my opinion. Okay? Nia Williams, this angel, was reportedly killed earlier this year. Now, authorities claim her death followed a months-long investigation that revealed a troubling history of abuse and neglect. Nikisha Williams, the mom, had been in a Palm Beach County jail for nearly 45 days, accused of beating her daughter to death. Whitney Walker, they spelled it really weird, a loved one of Nia's, expressed her deep sorrow during an interview with WPTV. Rebecca Finley, another loved one, believes Nikisha Williams deserves severe punishment, asserting death is perfect for her. Eye for an eye. In her second death penalty motion since taking office, State Attorney Alicia Cox cited several reasons for the filing, including, so I want y'all to hear this, aggravated child abuse, the crime being especially heinous, the act being committed in a cold, calculated manner, the victim being under the age of 12 years old, so that makes her even more vulnerable, the victim's vulnerability, goodness, Lord Jesus, let me say that again, the victim's vulnerability as a family member of the defendant. That's a tongue twister, sorry. John Walsh, supervising attorney in the Foster Children's Project and Juvenile Advocacy Project at the Legal Aid Society of Palm Beach County. God, dog, these long titles. Emphasized the tragic nature of the case. I think they want me to get tongue-tied trying to read this stuff. Every child you lose haunts you in this field, said Walsh, who once represented Nia as an infant and now advocates for her surviving siblings. He questioned why the state altered its course after initially seeking to terminate Nikisha Williams' parental rights, suggesting preventative measures could have avoided Nia's tragic death. So they didn't take the kids away from her, and I wonder why when you have all of these allegations out there, and then next thing you know, it ends up in tragedy, and then people are looking back and they're saying, well, why didn't we do this? Why didn't we do that? And you didn't have a reason not to take her kids away from her. She don't deserve to be a parent just because she gave birth to them, and that's crazy. As the case continues to unfold, Finley expressed strong sentiments towards Nikisha. You deserve everything that's coming to you, she said. Nikisha Williams is scheduled to return to court for next week for a deposition hearing where further steps in the case will be discussed. So let me give you guys the fair usage, and we only got 2 news videos. So it's kind of a shorter update.
Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107.
If you're watching this video, continue to share this story because I think it's important. Let's get justice for these babies. Hit that thumbs up. Let's go ahead and talk about this. Let me show you the news stories. Here we go.
Turning now to a devastating case of child abuse in Florida that's really raising questions about and concerns about the child welfare system. The state's attorney's office has filed paperwork to seek the death penalty against a woman, a mother, accused of stomping her 7-year-old daughter to death. Nikisha Williams is charged with first-degree murder and aggravated abuse in the death of her 7-year-old daughter, Nia Williams. Now, Nia died in April after being brought to the hospital with multiple injuries, including severe blunt force trauma, a lacerated liver, and internal bleeding. Her mother claimed that the child had an adverse reaction to medication, but toxicology tests refuted those claims, and Nia's death was ruled a homicide. Scripps affiliate WPTV reporter Kayla McDermott has more on the story.
In her her first death penalty filing since becoming state attorney, Alexia Cox outlines in these documents why she believes Nikisha Williams should receive capital punishment if found guilty. For nearly 45 days, Nikisha Williams has been sitting in a Palm Beach County jail cell for allegedly beating 7-year-old Nia Williams so badly detectives say she killed her. Now, the state attorney's office has filed a motion for Williams to be put to death.
How much could you have done her to make the state want to kill you?
Nia's loved ones, Rebecca Finley and Whitney Walker,
But I can't breathe, I can't eat.
tell me every day without Nia is a battle.
So we don't let this light go out. It says, the moment your heart stops, mine changed forever.
To them, death is what Williams deserves.
Oh, it's fit perfect for her. Eye for an eye.
In state attorney Alexia Cox's first death penalty motion, she cites these 5 reasons for the push. Aggravated child abuse, the crime is especially heinous, committed in a cold, calculated manner, the victim is less than 12 years old, and the victim was particularly vulnerable, as the defendant is a family member.
There's more reasons. They're just not listed.
I sat down with John Walsh, the supervising attorney in the fostering division of the Legal Aid Society of Palm Beach County.
In this case, it's a tragedy.
It's also personal, as he represented Nia as an infant and now represents Nia's surviving siblings.
Every child you lose haunts you in this field.
He believes the state could have prevented Nia's death.
In this case, the state filed to terminate her parental rights at one point. Why did they change course? Well, we need to look at the forest and ask ourselves, what could we have done that would have made her safer?
But for Finley, if she could speak with Williams, she would say,
You deserve everything that is coming to you.
In Palm Beach County.
Always justice for Nia.
I'm Kayla McDermott.
What a tragedy. Let's welcome in our guest.
In her first death penalty filing since becoming state attorney, Alexia Cox outlines in these documents why she believes Nikisha Williams should receive capital punishment if found guilty. For nearly 45 days, Nikisha Williams has been sitting in a Palm Beach County jail cell for allegedly beating 7-year-old Nia Williams so badly detectives say she killed her. Now, the state attorney's office has filed a motion for Williams to be put to death.
How much could you have done her to make the state want to kill you?
Nia's loved ones, Rebecca Finley and Whitney Walker,
But I can't breathe, I can't eat.
tell me every day without Nia is a battle.
So we don't let this light go out. It says, the moment your heart stops, mine changed forever.
To them, death is what Williams deserves.
Oh, it's fit perfect for her. Eye for an eye.
In state attorney Alexia Cox's first death penalty motion, she cites these 5 reasons for the push. Aggravated child abuse, the crime is especially heinous, committed in a cold, calculated manner, the victim is less than 12 years old, and the victim was particularly vulnerable, as the defendant is a family member.
There's more reasons. They're just not listed.
I sat down with John Walsh, the supervising attorney in the fostering division of the Legal Aid Society of Palm Beach County.
In this case, it's a tragedy.
It's also personal, as he represented Nia as an infant and now represents Nia's surviving siblings.
Every child.
And I was just looking at that. Let me back it up just for a second. Look, you know what this little girl reminds me of? It reminds me of my cousin, and shout out, maybe I guess she maybe don't, I don't know if she wants, if I could say her name or not. I'll say one of my older cousins, her daughter. So when her daughter was about this girl's age, she looks like a carbon copy of her. And maybe that's why this story really captures my attention like that, because she literally looks like my little bitty baby cousin. From the skin tone to the hair to the face to just everything. I see her as my little baby cousin. So this really, really bothers me. And I'm going to tell y'all something. There's nothing, and I know kids can be frustrating. There is nothing this baby did to deserve what she got. There's no level of being made that level of mad, being incensed, lose your effing mind, to stomp this baby out, to stomp her to death. I don't know what it is about all these female fights I've been seeing. It's like these little ratchet fights I be seeing out here on Facebook. Like, they be finding ways to put them fights on Facebook. It's crazy how they find ways to get the content up on there since you can't show it on YouTube anymore and all of these other places. The fights that I usually see are female fights, running people over with cars. Did y'all see that story I did about that? The reason I'm bringing it up is because one thing that I've noticed that a lot of them have in common is they don't just fight. I'm going to say this real slow. They don't just fight. They don't just fight. They don't just punch. They are literally trying to kill each other. Have y'all noticed that? The type of fighting that these chicks do. I saw one fight the other day where this girl went and grabbed a rock, a brick off like how they did on the movie Friday. How Ice Cube did Debo. Remember when he grabbed that rock and Debo wasn't looking and he smacked him in the face with the rock and almost blinded the dude, knocked him unconscious damn near? I saw a video like that and a girl actually did that. Waited till the girl turned her head, went and picked up a big brick off the ground, smashed her in the head with it. You doing stuff like that, you're trying to kill someone. Why am I bringing that up? Why is that even relevant about all of these fights that I'm seeing? Because when they get them on the ground, guess what they do? They get on top of them, they grab their hair, they try to smash their heads, the back of their heads into the ground, trying to knock them unconscious. I'm assuming if you're trying to do that, you're trying to kill someone when you're constantly smashing somebody's head on the ground. They try to stomp them, kick them. Oh, don't go to the ground. They're going for your head. They don't kick them in the stomach. They don't kick them in the back. They don't kick them in the chest. These women I've been watching are literally trying to stomp a person's head out. Why am I bringing that up? Because it seems like when they fight or they're aggressive, that's just their behavior in general, not all, but too many of them. And I believe that when you're talking about that this baby got stomped out, I'm pretty sure that's probably what this woman did. Right? I'm pretty sure that's what happened. Probably stomped her out. Probably stomped her in the head. Like I see a lot of these fights happen.
Represents Nia's surviving siblings.
Every child you lose haunts you in this field.
He believes the state could have prevented Nia's death.
In this case, the state filed to terminate her parental rights at one point. Why did they change course? Well, we need to look at the forest and ask ourselves, what could we have done that would have made her safer?
But for Finley, if she could speak with Williams, she would say,
You deserve everything that is coming to you.
In Palm Beach County.
Always justice for Nia.
I'm Kayla McDermott.
So I feel bad for those family members because if they could have took custody of this baby, they would have, and they just were not given an opportunity to do that. So if they're able to get the ultimate penalty under law, the DP penalty for this woman, she absolutely deserves it. But maybe I can actually get a hold of the transcripts and maybe I can find out. I want to see what they say that she actually did. It matters to me because of the context. So if I'm going to speak on something, I like to make sure that I'm right about the details because I'm usually not wrong really about much of anything. So, but I want to confirm that I'm right about what I'm saying, okay? So to Nia, little princess, R.I.P. And we hope to get justice for her against her own mother. And pray for those other kids because remember, there are other kids involved also, okay? Thank you.